The wind turbine team here is a pretty small team. We have 4 different sub-teams. So we have a sighting sub-team, a mechanical sub-team, a power system sub-team, and then an aerospace sub-team. And so we all come together, different engineering focuses, and basically just create a small-scale wind turbine that we usually compete in a yearly competition if we make it to that phase, and pretty much just try to generate the most amount of power using our small-scale wind turbine that we designed throughout the whole year. Yeah, we do a lot of testing in Goodwin 140, where they have a wind tunnel. It's definitely a big blessing to be able to go in there and test our design and work on it. So as the lead of the power systems and control sub-team, I do a lot of the design for our overall system, and so it basically breaks down into 2 different things. There's like a pitching system and then like our load side. So basically I'm just responsible for, and like my team is responsible for designing different ways to maximize the amount of power that our turbine is able to generate. So whether that be through pitching the blades into or out of the wind to increase the RPM and allow the generator to output more current, or basically just being able to manipulate like the load that the turbine is seeing to be able to change basically how much power it generates based on Ohm's law, which is like something you learn in the very beginning of your ECE career. But yeah, it all comes down to that in the end. So it's basically just being able to work with other engineering students and kind of designing that whole process of generating the most power electrically that we can. And so I think that's one thing that it definitely has benefited the most, or helped me like kind of develop with the most, is just being able to communicate with my peers and be able to kind of get an experience early on about like how to be able to communicate with people in kind of like a work environment or in like a stressful environment, because it can get pretty stressful when you have like reports due or things like that, to be able to move on to the next phase of the competition. So I think being able to learn how to effectively communicate with like interdisciplinary like teamwork is definitely a big thing that team has helped me with. Because it's easy to be able to just like over explain everything, but honestly, I find it the most effective to be able to kind of simplify things down when working with other engineering groups, just because you don't want to like say anything that goes over other people's heads or like comes off as like arrogant and things like that. So I think it's definitely like it's been able to help me find like a good balance of keeping everything efficient, being able to communicate my ideas, and also being able to be a good teammate. That team, as well as the like ambassadors, has definitely been able to help me with learning how to navigate like good communication. That's one thing that like I feel like a lot of engineers will say they kind of lack at. And so I feel like being able to kind of like put myself out there and put myself in scenarios where I'm forced to like communicate with people and be able to share like very complicated things, like just at a very like surface level, to be able to kind of just help people understand and also not overwhelm them.